79, and we'll close in on 80 later this afternoon in the 4 o'clock hour. So with that said, it's a little chilly outside right now. Let's see if Melanie's warming up with some food outside. Melanie.
All right, guys, we are live out here in our Fox 31 parking lot, cooking up some yummy, yummy food, all with local products, here with Chef Snyder, and we're talking fish right now. We've got fish. Is it pan-searing in some olive oil?
Yeah, we're using the delicious Georgia Farms olive oil.
Wonderful.
To cook. We've got some flounder, and we've got some speckled trout from the Golden Isles.
Yummy. I know your restaurants are down there in St. Simon's Islands, so this is all fresh, local, right here from South Georgia, Southwest Georgia, Southeast Georgia. We got the whole bottom of the state covered.
You do, and we're also making a clam soup with some Sapelo Island clams off our coast. And what we're going to do, rather than using potatoes to thicken it or cornstarch to thicken it, folks, grits, another great use.
Love it.
Sprinkle a little grits in your soup, and it's a great thickening agent. That'll thicken up the soup instead of using the starch from a potato.
And about how many grits are we talking?
You're talking maybe half a cup to about 2 gallons.
Okay.
Just enough to thicken up the soup and kind of dissipate into it.
I love it. I love it. Going back to the fish here, because we don't want it to overcook or anything. You were searing it earlier.
Yes.
How do you know how to sear a fish? I mean, how do you not get the bones?
It's a little bit of practice. After you fillet it very carefully, you get the oil up to about 450 degrees.
Oh, wow.
In a pan, it just barely starts to smoke.
Okay.
And that's when your nonstick pan will do its job. Just add the fish a little bit at a time and let it go.
There you go. And about how long are we cooking it here? I know we got to flip it over at some point. But
We're going to go about 2 minutes on each side. That's it.
Oh,
Maybe
wow.
only about a minute and a half on the second side.
So fish is something really quick to make if you're pressed on time.
Exactly. It's very quick. And if you overcook it, unfortunately, it gets really dry. There's nothing you can do about it. But that's why you got to come to my restaurants, because then we can do it for you.
Absolutely. And of course, St. Simon's Islands, a bit ways away from here, but great for the holidays. Thanksgiving's coming up. You know, Christmas is right around the corner. I know all those stores have the Christmas trees already. I saw a couple of them. So how can people get in touch with you at your restaurants?
Well, Halyard's website is halyardsrestaurant.com, and Tremici is tremicirestaurant.com.
And again, the fresh local produce as much as possible. But what type of food do y'all cook there?
At Tremici, we have pizzas, we have pastas. It's a great informal place. It's great with kids. Halyard's is fine dining. We do almost all fish at Halyard's restaurant. But we've got great steaks and pork chops and that sort of thing as well.
I love it. I love it. Now, I don't want you to burn this fish or anything, but we're putting it on top of some green beans and just a little tomatoes and those almond slices you were talking about. You can see it is just cooked beautifully this morning.
Look at that. Yeah, exactly. And the thing about fresh fish is you don't have to do a whole lot to it. So all we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of lemon juice to it.
Okay. Again, get that fresh flavor since it is such fresh fish.
Exactly. And then the best way to finish it, especially from a health standpoint, is just some olive oil.
I love it.
I mean,
this is so
plain,
simple.
It's simple, exactly. Over the green beans, you can smell that, and you can smell the heat of the fish is actually bringing the flavors out in the olive oil. And it pairs really well with nuts. The olive oil that the Shaw's made, it's got a great round nutty flavor to it, so that's why we put almonds in the green beans.
And you can smell that lemon mixing with the olive oil. Not two things I would think would go together. Usually you think of herbs and olive oil.
Well, in herbs, we've got great herbs actually that you mentioned in South Georgia.
Look at that.
We've got some great greens here that are from Baker's Farm in Brantley County. He does all of our herbs, all of our lettuces. He does baby vegetables.
Great.
I mean, jalapenos, fingerling potatoes. All that's here in Georgia, and people need to realize that. Reach out to your local farmers. Reach out to your local small mom and pop stores, grocery stores that can find it for you. Otherwise, you don't know that it's here.
Now, I want to talk about these tomatoes because I don't think I've ever seen a tomato that almost looks like a baby pumpkin or like a gourd.
It's an heirloom tomato.
Really?
So
you see that?
They don't mess with it too much to make it perfectly round. It's more about the flavor in it.
There you go. Well, we'll find out what he's adding to these tomatoes. Might want to taste some of this fish. It's all happening live here on Good Day. Back to you guys in the studio.